Can't relate. That's just me. That's the same reason why I'm writing this book from a solitary confinement prison cell in Mid-State Correctional Facility. Suge Knight and 40's homeboy pulled up in a red GT Bentley. Our niggas had game surrounded, his car covered in spit. Then, somebody from the hotel front desk must have called the police. As soon as the police pulled up, Game got in his spit-riddled Bentley and bounced. Suge did the same. Damn, I wanted to see some action. The morning after the House of Blues show, we headed to San Diego. R&B singer Keisha Cole was working on her second album and looking for beats. Keisha's people sent Havoc a number to contact her. In the back of the tour bus, Hav was tipsy. I couldn't tell if it was from the night before or that morning. He called the number. "What's up? This is Havoc. I heard you working on your new album. You know I got that fire for you, but to tell you the truth, I don't want to talk about music right now. I'm trying to holler at you. So on some real shit, if you want to talk about music, then you might as well just hang up right now." Oh, no. Why did he just say that? I asked myself. I couldn't hear what Keisha said back to him, but I could tell from Havoc's response that it wasn't good. "What? You know my man P already? Oh, yeah?" Then he looked at me in shock. I was confused at first, thinking, I know her? Damn. Did I bag her back in the day? Then it hit me. Keisha, from the Beverly Center Mall. Oh, shit. I bagged Keisha Cole before she became famous. Hav immediately ruined his opportunity to produce for her. Keisha hung up on him. "You know her, son? She said she knows you," he said. Yeah, I bagged her a couple of years ago in the Beverly Center. I didn't realize it was Keisha. It was before she blew up," I said. "Damn, son, you just fucked that relationship up. You could have sold her some beats." But Hav was too bent and brushed it off. "Keisha, if you're reading this, I apologize for all that nonsense." After covering most of the U.S., we toured overseas in London and Paris as usual. Then made the trek to Australia and New Zealand for the first time, with a connecting flight in Tahiti. In a car on the way to the hotel in New Zealand, my vision suddenly went from blurry to black. By the time we got to the hotel, I was totally blind, only seeing bright lights. I had just seen the movie Ray, starring Jamie Foxx, and thought I had suddenly lost my sight like Ray Charles did as a kid. I was scared to death. The hotel called an eye doctor. "Do you have any medical problems?" the doctor asked after examining my eyes. I told him I had sickle cell anemia. Okay, I know what's wrong. You have sickle cell retinitis." He explained that the high altitude of the long airplane flights decreased the oxygen level in my blood, causing blood vessels to burst in my retinas. After using eye drops, my vision slowly started to come back 5 hours later. Man, it felt good to see my ugly-ass niggas again. After New Zealand, we flew to Japan. As soon as the promoters picked us up from the airport, the first thing Alchemist and I asked was, "Where's the weed at?" The hotel was plush, but the rooms were tiny, and the beds even tinier. The toilet seats had buttons that made them heat up. Hey, I guess nobody likes a cold toilet seat. At the show, they didn't have the correct equipment for us to perform, so we only did 2 songs on a mic with the cord. But there were so many good-looking Japanese girls, dime after dime. The after party at our hotel was the stuff that dreams are made of. Japanese women get right down to business and aim to please. We flew to New York and rested during a short break before heading back overseas to Chile, India, Hong Kong, and England one more time. I'd ordered a bulletproof Chevy Suburban from the same company that 50 Yayo and Banks had gotten theirs from. It was waiting for me when I pulled up to my house. The truck cost $120,000 and was worth every penny. The windows could stop an AK-47, and the rest of the truck was completely armored with about 5 inches of steel. It's bomb-proof, and the tires will run flat, which meant that if they were shot, the truck could still drive. Now that we were a part of G Unit, I knew that the jealous and envious bullshit would surface more than ever before. Look what happened to Tupac, Biggie, Stretch, E-Moneybags, and 50. It's better to prevent a situation than to try to cure the outcome. Kiki and I moved into an exclusive waterfront townhouse in a gated community in Secaucus, New Jersey, just 5 minutes from Manhattan. Giants Stadium was directly across the water, and a lot of the Giants football players lived in the community. Corey Webster was our next-door neighbor. "You crazy for moving your woman around all those NFL players," Havoc told me. "I wouldn't do that shit." But it didn't matter if you moved to no man's land. If a person want to cheat, they're gonna find a way. I got another offer to co-star in an independent film. This one was called Blackout, starring Zoe Saldana and Jeffrey Wright. Since I was a kid, watching the making of Michael Jackson's Thriller, I had always been intrigued with the craft of movie making. I also started writing this book around the time of that movie offer. Kiki was writing a book about her life story and inspired me to do the same. Sitting in our new townhouse in New Jersey, I'd stay up all night typing on my laptop. I figured it would make for one hell of a read. After our short break, I'd stay up all night typing on my laptop. Our first stop was London. At the after party, DJ Who Kid was talking to this good-looking white girl who kept checking me out. When she sat back down with her girlfriends, I walked over. We kicked it for about 20 minutes, and I got her phone number. She told me she was from Long Island, but lived in Los Angeles. Who Kid walked over after she left. "Yo, you know who that was?" he said. "No, why? Who is she?" "Lindsay Lohan," he said. "Lindsay who?" I asked. "Who's that?" "She's an actress, nigga," he said, laughing. "Did you get her number?" "Yeah. I didn't know who she was. I may have heard her name once or twice, but I really didn't know who she was." We caught a flight to Chile, our next concert stop, with 40glocc, Sam Scarfo, 2 G Unit road managers, and DJ On Point. 40 minutes into the flight, I was playing Miami Vice on my son Shaka's PlayStation Portable when the flight got bumpy. 40glocc walked into the first class section where Havoc and I were sitting at and said, "Yo, cuz, the plane is on fire, cuz. The engine just blew up." My heart almost jumped out my chest. "Ladies and gentlemen, please remain calm," the captain said over the loudspeaker. "We're going to have to turn back around and make an emergency landing. We lost power in one of our engines." The engine was burning on the right side of the plane. Havoc gripped the armrest. "We lost power in one of our engines." The turbulence made the flight feel like a full-fledged roller coaster ride. I just kept playing Miami Vice. "I'm definitely not going to die on the airplane," I said to myself. I got a lot more work to do out in the world, and I know that the Most High is actually carrying this plane and will set it down safely in our destination. After landing, we rushed to an airport bar for some drinks to calm our nerves. The concert in Chile was canceled, and we flew out the next day to Bombay for our first performance in India. No other American rappers ever performed in India. Mobb Deep was the first. 10 hours into the 18-hour flight, my sickle cell pain started creeping up. By the time the flight landed in Bombay, I was in bad shape. India is extremely poverty-stricken, and we had on all kinds of jewelry, so people looked at us like we were insane. Cows, considered sacred in India, roamed freely in the streets, and the beaches were overpopulated with fully dressed people. The Marriott Hotel was the most modern structure. Everything else looked like squalor. After checking into our rooms, 40glocc, Sam Scarfo, and our security guard House and I went to the hotel restaurant and ordered some curry chicken. Everything had curry in it out there. I was trying not to think about the pain I was feeling. Mind over matter. Just relax, I kept telling myself, as House reminisced on club fight stories from the 90s. P, I remember when TLC had the party at Roseland Ballroom in Manhattan. I saw you and your boys walk in, and 10 minutes later y'all got into a fight and shut the whole party down. You remember that? Oh, wow. You was there for that? I said. Small world. After eating, the moment I feared finally approached. I had to go to the hospital. I was fighting tears with severe pain pounding all over my body as I was wheeled into the hospital in a wheelchair. The Indian doctors broke the bad news that pain medication, IV tubing, and saline solution bags were illegal in India. The doctors seemed very knowledgeable. The only problem was they had none of the necessary supplies to treat me. A doctor pulled my man Reed from G Unit to the side and told him, I know you can buy all these things he needs. You have to take the train and taxi 2 hours to buy these supplies off the black market. The doctor wrote down instructions, like sending Reed on an Indiana Jones mission to find the lost Ark of the Covenant. I was wheeled on a stretcher into a back room that I thought I would die in. Slowly, I felt the sickle cells accumulating and spreading throughout my body. Then I felt something that I never felt before. The sickle cells started moving to my heart. It was time to put an emergency call to the Most High. I know you're not gonna let me die like this. You better not let me die like this. Please don't let me die like this. All the dangerous shit I've been through, don't let sickle cell take me out. I've experienced pain so incredible that it made me laugh, and laughter so joyous that it made me cry. When you experience the paramount of those feelings, you learn that they're actually one and the same. My pain became so great in that rusty old Bombay hospital that I laughed out loud, delirious. Then something strange happened. All of a sudden, it felt like all my dead friends and relatives were in the room with me. I couldn't see them, but I sensed their presence. Grandmoms, my grandfather, Pops, Scarface Twin, Killer Black, Yammy, E-Money Bags. I spoke to all of them out loud, asking for help. I wanted to live. A few minutes later, the pain in my heart was gone. I thanked them and the Most High. Reed made it back with morphine pills in a Ziploc bag, and then the doctors hooked me up to the black market IV tubing. I missed the Bombay concert. Havoc, 40glocc, and Sam Scarfo performed without me. We booked a flight home the next morning, and I checked into Montefiore Medical Center in the Bronx. Havoc was mad that I couldn't